Great sunrise, family, people of life, light, and the dark. Living in ignorance when all you know is what you're programmed to know. When all you know is what you've been programmed to know, and being integrated into a society where everybody's mind is programmed to equality. Equality to what? That's where critical thinking comes into play. Did you really need equality if you already had it amongst yourself? Because something's different than you, do you need to strive for the equality amongst that thing if it's not beneficial to you? See, when we look at the dynamics and the relationship between the Black man and the Black woman, it's the lack of transactions, proper transaction, healthy transaction. All because you are programmed to be programmed and not in your walking in your nature. You're not walking in what you were born to walk in. So you do not know how to treat your other half. Your other half does not know how to treat you because we've been programmed to be try to be equal to something that is not of us. We are already equal to each other. At least we were at one point, working in harmony, building cities, having businesses. But now we're out of tune, we're out of harmony, we're out of balance, and everything's blamed on the Black woman. When it was when it was a Black man who integrated us, but yet it's the Black woman's fault. When all the, in the beginning of all everything, everyone ignored the Black woman who was talking about the other thing, and then decided to go with the Black man. And now you see we're in a situation where we get discounted continuously. Hey, young Cherokee Peasy and beautiful Anya. We, because a lot of our men, because of integration, and a lot of our men have been taught violence in this society. We've been taught violence. You can't, there's no way to, um, there's no way, no other way to say what we've been taught. We've been taught how to be violent. You might ask, how have we been taught to be violent? We've been taught to be violent and to think that violence means love. We've been taught that in this society because you cannot have where you have been violent to a group of people and think it's okay, because it's not. Because those people are going to learn that violence and think it's okay for them to be in that situation, to enact violence back upon the people that reciprocate the violence, that the violence that give us the violence. We've been taught that it's not acceptable. We've been taught that hate is a bad thing, when our ancient ancestors say you can't have hate without love. You can't have love without hate. I guarantee you that those that hate Black folks, which is all white people, have a deep love for themselves. If they didn't, they couldn't hate you. So it's all about their survival when you think of it that way. They got themselves in a survival mode, and they got us just out of our nature, out of our divinity. They got a Black man where he feels like as long as he works, take care of the house, take care of the needs and everything, that he can totally ignore his spouse, or that it's got it so that our men can jab jab you in sex. They can stab you in sex. They can just be violent with the Black woman during sex, because they've been taught to use their penises as weapons in this society. This is why a lot of them are into relationships with white women. White women are violent. Sex is violent when you look at it. And that's what our Black men become. They are not born of these women, but this is what the white woman births. She births destruction and violence. The white man is violence. Everything sexual with him is got to be jabbing you and basically stabbing you and sticking every hole in your body, including the ear. So it's a sickness that we have taken on, and in that sickness, we have broken apart. Sickness always breaks things down, in the body as well. The science shows us these things. So, where you with cancer in the body, you're always going to be broken. It's never going to be healthy. It's not that the world is supposed to be like this. It's just that you chose to be in a world that is like this and you accept it as your world, but it's not your world. I'm here today to tell you, family, it's not your world. Living in ignorance is not your world. Your world is a different world. We've been pulled into the minds of someone else. This is not our mind. Fighting against our women, not really getting it. Men can't get it. That's why you always needed the woman. That's why in our culture, the woman is put to the forefront. Not saying that she's smarter than the man. It's just certain foresights that the man just doesn't have, but he has a lot. Like each animal of the planet does not have what the other animal has. It has a specific, what our ancients were saying, each animal has a specific ability. That doesn't mean we become the animal because we're above that. We just use our intellect and know the abilities. But when we don't know ourselves, who we are, and we don't care, and we walk around here blindsided, and then we're wondering, why is she so angry? She's angry. You're angry all the time. You're angry black woman. You mean black woman. At the same time, you're treating her like a white woman, as if a white woman, as if she has everything a white woman has. And she, as if you would never understand the society and that she's in, because you have to be in somebody else's shoes to really get their perspective. And then, not only that, the most important to our foundation is our feminine and our masculine. The black woman thinks there's a difference between the white man and the white woman. There's no difference. That white man is that white woman. That's his feminine half. That's where he comes from. So running to him is not doing anything in your life for you. You still have to you still have to face certain things in that relationship, unfortunately. Because all you do when you get in a relationship with a white man is you're still saying, even if you're in a relationship with your own kind or with someone who doesn't share your background, but he's your own kind, you're you're still gonna get that same how do I say it? Absence of your experience. And with the black woman who goes to a white man, she pretty much wants to instead of face her experiences and face what she's her here and now, she wants to go to the white man because the black man disregards her experiences, and she doesn't recognize that the white man and her herself are covering up her experiences. So she's avoiding her facing her experiences. And in this relationship that is racist against her in itself, so psychologically, she's not doing herself any justice. She's not doing herself any justice. She's not healing and she's not moving forward. Because you can't move forward until you face your here and now. And I'm not with people saying that my here and now is my own fault, it's karma. Nothing is karma in that aspect. It's all about decisions, though. But this is not a karmatic experience, or this is not a, how the Israelites like to say, a curse experience. It is a bad situation that we're put in, but it's not a curse. We were purposely put in ignorance. And we are given choices. We can either understand that we have our own world that we need to strive for and towards, or we can continue to be in this world, because there's two different worlds. We can continue to be in this world of violence, animation, imbalance, no harmony, or we can be, it's all about, it's all about, I'll get to um y'all's comments in a minute. It's all about consideration, because the woman is who birthed the world. The woman is who birthed the world, right? So in that aspect, hey, bronze flip power. In that aspect, the woman is very critical to your world. But because we're in a world where the woman is discounted, you discount your Black woman who is very powerful. And we can't get anything done. We can't move forward. You can't move forward in the mind of our devils. We got to come out of the minds of our devils. A woman does not like to be stabbed with a big dick. A woman should not want just sex, sex, sex. A woman, the Black woman's body is made to be passionate, for passion, for intimacy. But it's been abused and misused in this society. So this is one great reason why we haven't been able to rise. And that's why sex trafficking and all this other stuff is an issue for us, because it's made to be energy to hold us down and not allow the frequency to rise. This is why I say animals and a lot of things, because the animals have to be killed off, because they hold this frequency of the planet down to it. So it can't, all the people that are into cosmology, astrology, or whatever you want to call it, you can see that. And it's made for us to see, because we physical bodies, we can't see in our own minds. We can't see in the skull. you see. But we can see when we look up the sky what's in the skull, what's in our heavens. Our mind is our heaven. So our mind is the universe, is the ether. So when we look to the sky, it's telling us so much. And that is nature making its way to be balanced. It's going to force its way. Earth is going to force its way to change. Were we not getting it here on the planet is going to get its change regardless. So the hell that the Black woman has to endure is not in vain. The pain and agony that the Black woman has to endure on this planet, because anything she has, the white woman wants to take everything. Even though her man provides everything for her on the planet, somehow she finds that she has to gravitate to what we have and take it all. That's how in the beginning the white man had to go and do that job, put in that work to get everything that we had. And unfortunately, a few of our own men are explicit in it. We're explicit in it. And they call them traitors. But because we fell into a low frequency, which is where we're at now, this low animal frequency of confusion and chaos and war and violence, this is why it's critical for us to know that we're our own guides. We're powerful. We are little gods, like they say. Each and every one of us. We have to recognize who we are and stop living in ignorance. We got to come out of living in the ignorance. Hey, young Cherokee PZ. Thank you for bronze for that power, King. And beautiful Anna. Hey, thank you for all for being here. It's early in the still in the ether time. So but let me get into some comments. He said, it's like, how do these colonizers trick themselves into believing that they are the victims and make us look like we are the evil, wicked, violent ones? Exactly. Well, the whole thing is, and then our people never learn. You know, separation has always been the best thing for us. I say that because it allows you to be who you need to be. It allows you to heal. It allowed us to heal, even though ultimately some of us still wanted to be connected to these people and ended up causing a lot of heartache and turmoil for our people, because it just, you know, they saw that we were rising above, and the threat of that is a lot of Black men who wanted to be with white women in those days um went over there and had a status, and it white people, Caucasian, these people already have issues with us because we are divine beings on this planet versus what they are. And so when you put that into play, you become a really bad threat for them, a threat to who they are, a threat to their survival on the planet. So they had to come up with a way to trick us out of what we had. Um, and so what they do is they made up stories, they burnt down towns, and they pressured us into wanting to become economically connected with them because we were striving to rebuild, and a lot of our stuff wasn't up to par as they had became. And so they needed us financially, and so we became their slaves again back on the plantations, with equality, of course, with this false lie of equality, and throwing away our divinity. Because once again, we chose to become equal to something that we're not equal to. So we raise our children in this society to think that you're no different than this Becky over here. You're no different than this Jimmy over here. So you take on the mental state without knowing unconsciously that you're taking on their ways. You're a perfect being, but you've taken on their ways. You're a complete being, but you're taking on a creature that is still in evolution. And I'm going to do another video on that. All we need is we need to accept our divinity back. When we accept our divinity back and become humans, real humans, not this fake people calling themselves sapiens, and they're not sapiens, Homo sapiens. They're not Homo sapiens. Just because you can get pregnant by them and you can get them pregnant does not make them sapiens, Homo sapiens. So the trickster is real. The tricks are real, family. The frequency of the planet is, low because of all this stuff. And the earth is going to change regardless. It's going to rise, and those who are in harmony with it is going to rise. Now, the white woman and the white woman and the white man cannot rise. If you get their genetics, you're going to be on their frequency. So that's why I say interracially mixing with them is a trick to get you to give up your genetics so they can evolve more. But yet, their evolution is not going to get them on a higher frequency. But you mixing with them is going to keep you on this frequency, at least keep your children on this frequency. Now, you as a Black individual, you can leave this frequency, but a part of you, your children, like they say, it doesn't have nothing to do with you, your children, but you're connected genetically. So a part of you will still be on this frequency. And as long as a part of us is always on this frequency, that's why they talk about reincarnation. You really, really have to, we really, really have to raise our frequency. You see, that's why I said all that reincarnation stuff is going to come to an end, because the planet is going to change into a whole different world. The movie Planet of the Apes is a good example. You had the animal. What they were representing was the animal. And what they should have had was Black people playing what the white people were playing. The humans were playing. Because it's confusing when you see something that evolved from the apes playing humans. It's confusion. And that's what they wanted. That's the other part of the movie that they wanted. They wanted us to think that they were humans. So the apes were the animal, represented the animal world. And the white people who played in the movie represented our world. And that's where we're at. We're in the planet of the animals right now, where everything is this violent frequency, violent energy, no consideration, just caveman mentality. That's what our Black men have taken on, a caveman mentality, and they don't even recognize it. And when you've taken on the caveman mentality, your woman is looking for that higher world relationship, because she needs it. But she's getting this caveman mentality instead. And the white man is trying to be that higher, but he's not, he still can't be that, because he's not on that level frequency. He still has that violence in him. And the white woman too is trying to be that, but she can't achieve that either. That's why Black men are going to her, because she's taken over our space, and the white man has taken over the Black man's space. And this is because they want to be us. So it behooves them to have us divided and broken in pieces, like cancer does to the body, or any disease does to the body. It weakens you, it breaks you apart, it destroys. It's definitely a mental matrix they programmed into our people since birth. We must break out their matrix. Exactly, young Cherokee. We must break out of their matrix. Exactly. That's why, I talk about, they don't want us to sit and think about what the real problem is, because they don't want us to solve it. We always know to solve and heal. That's why they took our 432 hertz music off the radio stations, because we would always heal ourselves like that. And that's something, by letting these people spy and come into our communities, they learn these things about us. You see what I'm saying? So until we hold ourselves to high regards, we can't we need to stop expecting other people or looking for people to see us in high regards, because they're not even in high regards. That's just a fact. Hey, Miss Gigi, you made it. They're not even in high regards. So because of that, we need to put ourselves in high regards. Yeah, JJ said it's so true about the music frequency. We have to put ourselves in a higher regard. We have to love ourselves ultimately. We can't, spirituality, our spirituality isn't about caring whether somebody because that didn't exist. Hate, the word hate we can look it up and see that it's not actually, you know what, I might change over because I wanted to talk about, hold on, I could do that. I can look it up. Let me see. I can still get into my computer. My computer. Oh my goodness, it's dead. I was messing up. Hold on. Let me send myself an invite. Oh, I just gotta. Okay. Okay, let's see. They never really known the blues. Exactly. Yes, exactly. Oh, let me see if I could do this. Because I want to. Okay. 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 That's better. Let's see here. There. Okay. Let's see. Hold on a second, family. Let me get this fixed. Okay. Hold on. I think I can mute this. I'm gonna have to. so sorry, family. Oh my goodness, I muted myself. Hold on. I thought I turned this off. Let me turn this off. Oh my goodness. I can't. Let me do this because I'm in this one. You didn't hear anything I said. I got to do all that over. Godly. I was saying because, hold on. Okay, that's better. I took the other me out. I hope you all can still hear me. Can y'all hear me out there? I had to turn that other one off. Let me go back to this article. What I was saying is that's the whole reason why this is why I say the men don't totally understand, because the condition that we've been placed in as a people, they think that the woman is just fucked up like that the Black woman is just, no, the white woman is conscious of what she does. She's well conscious of what she does. The white man is conscious of what he does. It is not anything they have to be conscious of. They're or not conscious. They're already in conscious mind, because their whole thing is survival. It's us who have the ignorance, the lack of knowledge of where it's coming from. We think that the Black woman is naturally the way she is. That's not her nature. It's because the Black man has pushed us into thinking that we can have equality with something that is totally taking advantage of us, of our way of life. Also, they can evolve and use our genetics and DNA and make themselves better, because they're not a complete people. They're not a whole people. They're not a perfect people. But many of our Black men turn around and they compare the Black woman with the white woman, and there's no comparison. There's no comparison. She is well aware of everything that she does to your woman and your children. And in this article, you're going to see why they want our genetics so bad. Because you think that we're an imperfect people, monsters, when in all actuality, they're the monsters. An oddity in your forearm proves humans aren't done evolving. A study found that about 1 in 3 European descended Australians have a persistent median artery. That artery typically goes away during fetal development or even during infancy. Until now, scientists stress the finding is only the gateway to extensive further study. Just when you thought we had this whole being a human thing figured out. Just because you think just because they say they're Homo sapiens sapiens, they're not. And this right here proves they know, they're conscious of, aware that they're not. As a whole, as a group, they are well aware of who they are and what they are and what they have to do to us for them to get where they want to get. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, they do not give a damn about you or your woman or your children. We're apparently still changing in an irreversible ways. In a new paper, scientists have identified a feature they say is actively evolving in the human forearm. The human body is a badass. Let's nerd out over it together. Everything in nature is always in some state of evolution. Now, this word evolution, they're using it in a physical context, but we are supposed to mentally evolve. We don't have to physically evolve anymore. We have to mentally evolve. See, they're still at the physical. That's why I say a lot of our men are lost causes. A lot of our Black women are lost causes because they are so focused on the physical that they don't recognize that we're already in perfection. And this is their whole, this is the white man and white woman's whole being, is to hold us down, to put those roadblocks so that we can keep being distracted from our mental evolution, changing mentally and developing into higher beings. But they want to keep us at this frequency in this state that they are in because they are slowly evolving, slow evolving. But it's very hard to see, and they can't evolve really. They really aren't to evolve without us. They need, if they need our genetics and they need to kill us and they need to destroy us to evolve, then that's not a part of nature. In real time, because of how long the timescales are outside of isolated examples like the birds of the Galapagos Islands or scientific studies of fruit flies in the new research, as experts identify different kinds of human forearms. Some people have something called the median artery, and some people don't yet. The scientists based in different schools in Australia studied human remains for the presence of median artery. A total of 26 median arteries were found in 78 upper limbs, obtained from Australians aged 51 to 101 years, who died in periods 2015 to 2016. Now, they're telling on themselves here because we know that Australian was a heavily enriched Black, melanin country at one time. But so happened that in a short period of time, they made it white. But it's still some Black tribes there. But you notice how they're talking about now, they're scientifically looking at the changes over the period of time, of course, using Black genetics to help them to evolve, as I explained earlier. They explain in the paper, second order polynomial regression of the median arteries prevalence on dates of birth shows that it is now present in 35% of people and predicts that people born 80 years from now will carry a median artery if the trend continues. When the median artery prevalence reaches 50% or more, it should not be considered as a variant, but as normal human structure. There are other qualities that are divided in this way, which scientists speculate have to do with ongoing evolution, especially of human groups that came from geographically separated groups. Think varying lactose tolerance, an interesting selective allergic reaction to alcohol, and other very minor characteristics. But for a physical structure in the body to be different and much more uncommon, and even physiognomous favorites like the bump at the base of the skull don't follow the population guidelines they insist are true. The median artery forms in quite young fetuses in the womb, and as with lactose tolerance, it eventually disappears in most people. This is the key fact that scientists say is changing. They describe the median artery in adults as the persistent median artery, referring to the survival past fetal development. Hold on. I apologize, family. Hold on a second. You want to go to your room? Hold on. I thank you all again for being here and being patient with me. Here we go. Let me finish this up. Okay. The median artery forms in quite young fetuses in the womb, and as with lactose tolerance, it eventually disappears in most people. This is the key fact that scientists say is changing. They describe the median artery in adults as persistent median artery, referring to the survival past fetal development. Persistent median arteries come in two flavors, so far named for how far they radiate down into the forearm and sometimes the hand. Two main phenotypes of persistent median artery, alarm and forearm, have been described. They supply the forearm and the hand or the forearm only respectively. The researchers explained this pattern of median artery arrangement has been referred to as the atabrachial phenotype. For now, the study was of just Australians of European descent. And the scientists say in the paper that they don't understand the scope of how this feature has evolved around the world. They used volunteered, donated remains and only checked for presence of a median artery, not a particularly palmar or forearm median artery. This study is just one small step towards a much larger study of this feature in different population groups born in different time periods and all around the world. But if you don't get anything, get this, get that the white man and white woman are conscious already. They are well aware. I don't see how they dumbed us down to the point where we think we give them accolades because they're aware of what they do to you. Not only that, Not only that, we down each other, and we down you down the black woman. And without her being where she needs to be, your mind can't elevate any higher. As long as you're involved with the Caucasians, they know this, they're aware. As long as you're involved with them, you cannot, you're gonna want to remain on the media, on this level, this frequency. You married to them, you got them in your family, you're gonna wanna, you can only identify with this frequency, and you're keeping yourself on this frequency, on this level, just by being amongst them and loving them. You can't love them and understand the state that you're in. You cannot do that. You cannot love them and expect your frequency to be higher. You just can't, because they're not about what you're supposed to be about. You're supposed to be mentally evolving. Meantime, you got a group of beings on the planet that are trying to evolve themselves to more greater animal humans. When you're trying to evolve yourself past the animal state, that's what it was all about. So, with that said, know thyself. That's all I'm going to say before I close out. Know thyself, family. It's very critical. I'm not on this level, and I'm not going to allow myself to be dragged or pulled down to this level. I esteem, I push forward to be on that higher level intellectually, so that I might physically be. So, with that said, true love, real peace, the higher self within the soul. Also, before I end it, remember, you control your destiny. You control your current situations. We don't need them to do that. That's the falsehood that they put over our eyes, over our minds, to make us think that we cannot move forward or have or be without them. That's mental slavery. Once again, we have the ability ourselves. So don't let a politician, don't let some false priest, white priest, make you think that you need them. They don't, they need us. They need us. The more of your power you take from them, the better off you are. True love, real peace, the higher self within. So, till next time.